Hey, this is Mark with the Practical Still. It's time to go back to the bottle. And this one I've been really excited about, and not just the whiskey, just getting a store pick from Lincoln Road Package Store in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. The owners of that store, Jamie and Misty Ferris, have been in the private barrel game a lot longer than most anybody around. They've done hundreds of these picks, I think. I know more than 100. I think he told me they've done 45 just Knob Creek picks. So they know how it works, and they've got a great reputation for it. And I've always wanted to know, does it matter? Because I know it matters. Single barrel itself, that doesn't mean it's better. Depends on who picks it. So let's see, was their palate that much better? This was something I had a little bit of experience with. This is a Barrell rye, single barrel. It's a 13-year-old Canadian rye distilled in Canada. So you got to figure probably the same place that 10-year-old Whistle Pig comes from. We talked about that up front, and I gave you all the stats. But like everything Barrell does, and I love everything they do, it's barrel proof and unfiltered. This is 125.22 proof. Does not drink like that. It is syrupy and sweet, and it is fabulous. So I think between the job that Barrell does to pick those barrels from the distillery in the first place, and somebody like Jamie and Misty, who have just a ton of experience going through barrels and picking, and maybe even a reputation that gets them a better shot at those barrels rather than being the last one that got to choose them. This came together beautifully. So I love 10-year-old Whistle Pig. I love Whistle Pig store picks. I like that Canadian distilled rye whiskey. It's 100% rye. There's no corn or malted barley in it. So in general, I like the style and I like what's going on. This has just been fabulous. So obviously you necessarily can't run out unless you can get to Mississippi and buy this particular bottle. But Barrell does these private picks, so you may find other Barrell releases from different stores, restaurants, or bars or clubs that line up with this in the 12, 13, 14 year range for the rye. That's a good way to get close. Also, a lot of the stores now are doing 10-year-old Whistle Pig picks, so you can get some that frankly can be a lot older than 10. I mean, the label says 10 on it, but when they pick those single barrels, a lot of times they're older than that, so that's another way to get close to this. But if you like rye whiskey and true rye whiskey, not a rye that's barely a rye whiskey based on the mash bill, then this is certainly something you want to try. And I paid just under 100 for that. So in the grand scheme of things, a 13-year-old barrel proof, unfiltered whiskey at around 100 in today's market's fair. I don't regret doing that at all. It's been fabulous. And I thought it was a good time. So I just did an open the bottle video for this Michter's rye, which is one of those it's more Kentucky style rye. Probably just barely rye based on the mash bill content, lots of corn and rye in it. Corn and malted barley in it. It's really good. But here's one that's 3 years older. It's distilled in a different country. It probably lived a lot of its life in a different climate. It is a more delicate whiskey, but it is all rye. Where with the Michter's, it had to sit for a minute before I started picking up those rye notes. In fact, it kind of tastes, maybe I would have pegged it more as just a high rye bourbon than a rye whiskey. This one, there is no mistaking what you're drinking. It is rye from the start to the finish. And it's glorious. So if you get a chance at one of those extra aged Canadian distilled ryes, is certainly worth a try. This may be the upper end of the range on what I might pay for that, but it is definitely good and it's definitely different. I don't really need to drink it. As you can tell, I drank plenty of it, but I don't want to miss a chance because it is delicious. It does not drink anything near the 125 proof that it is. I will tell you with this one, spend some time with it and play with water because it is very, very tasty, easy drinking out of the bottle, neat. But I'm telling you, if you bring this down to around 100 proof, it is really good. It gets super sweet. It gets super silky. It is very delicate. So don't be one of those, I can drink barrel proof whiskey guys. That's just not impressive. Spend a little time with the whiskey. The reason that you ought to covet barrel proof unfiltered whiskeys is it gives you a chance to play with the water, bring it down to the proof that works for you on the particular night or day that you're drinking the whiskey. Don't miss that chance because you'll miss out on a lot of the really good stuff about whiskey if you don't play with it and try it at different proofs. So I really encourage you to do that. Like I said, this one down 15, 20 proof points. It's really good. it drinks a little more like a Scotch would than a typical American whiskey, which of course it's not an American whiskey, it's still in Canada. But give that a try. I'm really happy with it. Thanks for playing along with this one. And if you get a chance on something like that, let me know in the comments what you think. Subscribe to the channel if you like these videos. Give us a thumbs up, thumbs down. Let us know what we're doing right and what we could do better. And then check out the podcast too, The Practical Still, on all the major podcast platforms. We try and do those at least twice a month. It varies because, it varies. But for now, this was an excellent one. Super happy to have tried it. It's kind of fun to try that in the middle. Let me do that before we go. Look at the difference in the color. This one's 3 years older than this one. But look how rich and dark the Michter's is and how golden and elegant. It's crazy the differences in whiskey. So don't miss a chance to try those. But anyway, so try that one. Try something like it. Get close with the Whistle Pig store picks. Get close with other barrel releases. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.